Welcome to the Home Downsizing Show. My name is Ben Socek, your host and the owner and founder of Home Downsizing Solutions. With the Home Downsizing Show, I want to provide you the information and resources to make the downsizing of your house stress and hassle-free. So sit back and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining us. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Home Downsizing Show podcast. I'm Ben Socek with Home Downsizing Solutions. And this past week, I had a great opportunity to talk to some individuals at the St. Martin de Porres Center in Omaha that they wanted to discuss home downsizing, and the group is called the Sassy Seniors at the center, and they had some questions in regards to home downsizing, and so we had a great kind of just a question and answer session to address their concerns, and had a great time talking to them and hopefully bringing value to their group. So on this week's podcast, I'd kind of like to just go through some of those questions because some of those listening to this podcast may have the same exact questions that are pretty common to what I hear often. So again, we had a great question and answer session for those attending. And again, we'd just like to go over a few of those, some of those topics. So first, a topic that I hear often is, I want to stay in my house, but still want to downsize the stuff that I've accumulated over the many years that I've been here. And although I don't really consider myself a downsizing expert or dealing with stuff and downsizing, I did provide some basic tips to start in rooms that may not be used or used very little to label and sort items into categories of things that a person wants to keep, they definitely don't want to keep, and that maybe they want to keep. So it can be an overwhelming process, but just starting and making progress, no matter how small, will provide some motivation to make what seems like a huge project manageable and to get that job done. We also discussed how selling a house and downsizing is very dependent on a person's individual's wants, needs, and desires. As I've mentioned before, it is said that approximately 90% of senior homeowners want to stay in their house as long as possible. It's understandable that a person would like to stay in their house that they are already comfortable with and very, very knowledgeable about and have been there for a long time. Some reasons that a person may want to move to a smaller house or apartment are they don't want the responsibility of repairs, upkeep, or maintenance any longer. They would like to travel more and not worry about a vacant house being left behind. They'd like to move closer to friends or family. Would like more socialization with others and be involved with a community than they currently maybe are in their house. One other statement that was mentioned that I also hear often is, my house is paid for, and if I move to an apartment, it will actually cost me much more than if I just stay in my house. Again, this is an issue where an individual's specific situation will determine what is best for them and their situation. If a person is able or has the financial ability to hire items such as yard work, snow removal, repairs, and regular maintenance, then staying in your house may be the best option. However, if the house is becoming a financial drain because of repairs and maintenance issues, or if a person wants the freedom to travel and not worry about a vacant house, or just wants to be in an environment that is more socially active, then moving to an apartment community may be a better option. And of course, if a person is not able to safely remain in their house and needs additional care that can't be provided in their house, that is obviously a situation where a person can or should maybe move to a senior living arrangement that is best for them. We also discussed the multiple options available for homeowners some that are more common, and some that many may have never heard of. We discussed options such as just staying in your house as you currently are, utilizing a reverse mortgage to stay in your house, selling your house and moving to a new home, apartment community, or other senior living arrangement, selling your house and moving in with family, or possibly selling your house to an investment company like Home Downsizing Solutions, but having an arrangement to stay in your house without the worry of repairs or maintenance issues. Another common question I hear from sellers is, how much will I get if I sell the house? I provided a couple of different perspectives for this question. If I have my real estate agent hat on, I may be more optimistic on pricing a house versus if I have my home buyer hat on. Although great agents want to provide the best information for sellers, it's easier to be a little more optimistic on pricing than as a home buyer that is risking their own capital and credit. Also, agents tend to talk with gross numbers, pricing that they would list a house for instead of net numbers, which is the actual amount a seller will net when a sale closes. When discussing the sale of your house, always understand the difference between that gross versus net number and how a real estate professional arrives at those numbers. Lastly, we discussed finding a good professional real estate agent or home buying company. In regards to an agent, I would typically recommend one that has an SRES, or a Seniors Real Estate Specialist designation, or that has worked with seniors in downsizing situations for years with great reviews as a good start. Having an agent that is familiar with your neighborhood and understands and presents the options you have as a seller is also important. For home buyers and home buying companies, having a company with a local presence that can actually meet with you and look at your house, having been in business for 10 plus years, and certainly 25 plus is better, can prove that they can actually pay cash for houses and that you can confirm this information with a local title and closing company, and that is able to be open and honest with you is a necessity. Any real estate professional should also be able to provide or connect you with other resources and services that are utilized when selling a house and downsizing. Selling a house or not and downsizing can be a stressful process, but with the right information, resources, and professionals, it really doesn't have to be. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's short podcast. And again, my name is Ben Socek with Home Downsizing Solutions. If you would like information about home downsizing and our services and what we can do for you, just go to homedownsizing.com. If you'd like a free copy of my book, Home Downsizing Secrets, you can just go to homedownsizing-secrets.com or call my office, toll-free 855-291-5005. Thank you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Home Downsizing Show. For additional information and resources on home downsizing, just go to homedownsizingblueprint.com. That's homedownsizingblueprint.com. Or if you're ready to sell your house and downsize, just go to homedownsizingsolutions.com. That's homedownsizingsolutions.com. And if you have ideas to improve our show or topics that you'd like us to cover, or have any questions that we can answer, just call our office, toll-free 855-291-5005. That's 855-291-5005. Thank you.